Binge eating is an incredibly common challenge in the ADHD community. Now, some might think that these are two separate challenges, so someone can have ADHD and also struggle with binge eating, but these two things are actually a lot more tightly linked than you might think. Understanding how ADHD may be affecting your eating habits is the first step in coming up with a supportive and effective plan for nourishing yourself well throughout the day. So let's get into it. If you are someone who frequently finds yourself coming home from work and binging on snack foods, one of the first things to look at is how you're nourishing yourself during the day. There's a very common belief that binging is just a product of not having enough discipline or willpower or self-control. However, one of the main reasons why someone might be binging in the evening time is actually that they haven't nourished themselves very well during the day. Now, there are several reasons why neurospicy folks might not be eating enough during the day. The first one is the fact that many medications, such as Adderall and Vyvanse, that are prescribed to people with ADHD really have an appetite suppressing effect. And so a lot of people who are using these medications don't really have hunger cues throughout the day until the medication wears off in the evening. The second thing is that a lot of people with ADHD are prone to time blindness and hyperfixation. And so if you get sucked into a project or a task, it's incredibly easy just to blow past mealtimes and not realize you're hungry until you come up for air several hours later. The third reason can simply be a matter of not having foods available. Reliably getting to the grocery store or having foods packed or prepped can be a challenge for people with ADHD when their focus is split on a lot of other tasks and responsibilities. And so if you are somebody who is frequently getting sucked into projects at work and you're on a medication that affects your appetite and you don't have foods available that are easy to grab so you can get back to the task at hand, the likelihood is that you're probably going to be skipping meals and you're likely going to be very, very hungry by the end of the day. And when you reach that level of hunger, you're a lot more likely to reach for hyperpalatable, calorie-dense foods that require little to no prep, which oftentimes ends up being snack or convenience foods. We are also more likely to eat more quickly and potentially bypass our fullness cues. The second overarching reason why somebody with ADHD may be prone to binging in the evening time has to do with the work environment itself. Masking in the work environment is incredibly common for people who are neurodivergent. For people with ADHD, this can often look like overperforming because oftentimes people who struggle with executive function can be worried that they're not keeping up with their coworkers. So it's really not uncommon for people in this boat to come in early, to work through breaks and lunch, or to stay late in order to get extra work done. But maintaining this level of focus and productivity and also working really, really hard not to appear that you have any sort of deficit can lead to burnout. And so if you are in a work environment that is always go, 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 where you are in a rush, where you are constantly trying to keep up or push for more and more productivity, it is absolutely no surprise that when you come home, you need to recover. And that can often look like numbing out, feeling a ton of resistance to doing anything at all. Folks who reach this level of burnout often don't have the capacity to do even the things they want to be doing. And this dynamic can affect food habits in a couple of ways. The first one is that food can provide stress relief. Food can also be a tool to address stimulation needs. And this is a big part of why people who are neurodivergent really tend to be drawn towards foods that provide a very big flavor experience. So this could be things that are crunchy, salty, sweet, sour, spicy, a combination of all of those things. When you have foods that are novel or foods that provide a big taste or texture experience, it can be a really helpful tool for addressing sensory needs. Additionally, if you find yourself in a place where you're feeling burnt out and you really just need to numb and decompress, the likelihood that you are going to have the spoons to prepare and clean up after a meal that is nourishing and satiating is pretty low. And so as a result, oftentimes people will reach for things that are convenient, that are easy, but also that don't provide a lot of satiation. So what often happens for folks, especially if there's someone who needs to mask a lot at work, is that they are undernourished during the day, they are super hungry when they get home, they are exhausted and overstimulated and have no spoons for meal preparation or grocery shopping or any of the tasks that are involved in that, and they have sensory needs that need to be addressed. And so in light of that context and that environment, it is no surprise that binging on very easy snackable foods is a lot more likely. And the really frustrating part of this cycle is that a lot of people who are working on these challenges really blame themselves for struggling to do very basic tasks such as getting to the grocery store reliably. But the truth is that you can't drive on an empty tank. Until you figure out how to create more space in your life and to break the cycle of either being all go or all stop, it's going to be really, really challenging for you to take care of yourself in the way that you want to. And that is the main reason why a lot of times for my clients who are working on breaking the cycle, the first thing we address is not the food typically. It is the environment that makes the eating pattern a necessity. This is not a pattern that you can willpower your way through, because doing that is just another form of masking and is just going to lead you further into the burnout hole. Changes can't be made through force. They have to be made through supporting yourself so well that you maybe don't need the coping mechanism as much as you used to. So if you feel like the cycle is at play for you or it's something that you've been struggling to break free from, let me know in the comments section specifically which aspects of this you are struggling with, and I will make some content with some solutions.